He has been involved in, he's originally from China, and he's come here and he's been involved with video from the beginning in a very real sense, particularly for people like in Access, which has something to say about the possibility of democratizing communications in general, and particularly the phenomena over the last 4 or 5 decades, it goes unnoticed often, that world society has migrated from a linear kind of construction coming out of Gutenberg and the historical pattern to where we now have multimedia communications possibilities. Not only for the stars and the networks and that sort of thing, but for the people. And that, you'll notice now, has migrated through many, many iterations and levels of technology. And CT has down at his place on Murray Street in New York City, I don't know for sure, we can't say for sure, but he has what amounts to probably the best collection in the world, very possibly, of all of the various technologies that involve the development of multimedia capacity. And it would begin in a certain sense with what they called the Porta Pact that came about 1967-68, to where an individual could make television, opening the portal to multimedia communications, which is now the medium by which the world is communicating, and it's growing almost exponentially now. Cell phones, that sort of thing is an extension of it. But he was in the business, and he had a collection of a great deal of equipment that he's managed to keep in relatively good repair, and he has virtually, or as wide a selection and as broad a selection of the various iterations of multimedia multimedia television production, editing, graphics, that sort of thing, that there is existent in the world very possibly. He also knew all of the people that were the pioneers of early multimedia development, again, in the industry, but also among what is called generally the alternative media and the alternative artists that were involved in that. And he's always been a very firm and stalwart supporter of what would be called public access, so it's particularly appropriate that he be addressing a public access cable television meeting, and keeping in mind that he has been witness to and has vouchsafed the technologies that have made this incredible transformation in communications to multimedia, characteristic of our modern world that is growing exponentially now. And for that reason, we're honored to have him to talk about his own background, to take some questions. We'll show a few clips from on the television set from his very rich site, which is CTLNY.com, a very rich site. But with that very brief introduction, but believe me, I am fan number 1 of the CT Lui fan club, because I'm very familiar with the work that he's done and the stance that he's taken in the interest of this incredible, decades-long, very short in terms of human experience, transformation to multimedia communication, similar to the way we communicate when we move through the world. It's a major transformation that is changing everything. So without further ado, please welcome C.T. Lui, and welcome him, give him a round of applause, and he will introduce himself.
Well, to start with this, since he's talking about all the old equipment, so why don't we just start with this this page?
Oh, well then come in on the television. Let's turn off that light then, if we're going to be on the television.
No, it doesn't matter. You don't need
I'll
any.
slowly scan, so slowly scan it down. Right here. Shut off. Go. Let's go back then. Right. Good. Okay.
Oh, can I watch your name here? You can't see it.
Computer.
You're going on the desktop, not on the frame.
Okay, do that. But slowly, slow. Keep going, keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going. Wrong place. Okay. Keep going slowly.
Oh.
So here are the film camera, early black and white camera, early.
What's the
studio camera.
earliest one?
Just
You know?
keep scanning. No, no.
Right here?
Over on the white.
Oh, the white?
Yeah,
Oh,
there,
No,
above it. Very dim, right down a little bit.
here?
No, no, where his finger is right
Oh,
on it.
right there.
Yeah.
Right. Do that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Continue?
Continue, just scan, slow. So you see all this camera, lenses, just keep going. And here's all the video recorders, 2-inch.
Ah, I see.
2-inch portable recorder.
Okay.
Why don't you just hit first one.
This one?
And magnify, let them see what's in it. So,
Right here?
yeah.
Boom.
Is that an Ampex machine?
Yes, that's Ampex machine, 2-inch. They call it portable.
Right here?
Yeah.
How heavy was it, that portable thing?
I don't know.
That's a portable, that's a tabletop model.
But they called it portable, I think, at that time.
Yeah, but wait, how
What's
much
it called?
No, not that, that was a portable table.
Okay.
Alan Phillips had one like that.
Yeah, up a little bit. All right, let's go back to the next page.
Here?
Yeah,
Boom.
scan down.
Where?
This is the first portable.
You want this?
Yeah, this is the portable. Open this.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a full.
Right. Bring it down.
Oh, here? Okay, got it.
Well, this showing I still have brand new, two pieces. I'm opening it up. You can go back.
Where?
You took this
Here?
brand new?
Yeah,
Here?
yeah, right. Lower.
Boom. Here?
Okay. We're gonna go back. Let's look at something else. Continue, go down.
Here?
Here's a 2-inch machine, studio playback machine. RCA.
Is that what's called beta?
No, this is
No,
2-inch
2-inch.
quad. 2-inch quad. This is all pre
What year?
CB.
What year?
What year would that be?
50 and 60.
58, that would be people within the industry.
Yeah, yeah.
That wouldn't be
Broadcast,
something
yeah,
open to the
yeah.
public because
So much cannot afford it.
They still were using 2-inch in '85.
So not anymore.
It was $200,000.
Correct.
200,000?
$200,000.
That?
Did you furnish equipment like that?
George,
No, I
think of the
collect-
tape being this wide.
I
Oh.
started videos since,
Yeah, let him talk.
since 60. So anything prior to that, I collected. I couldn't afford it like everybody else. Just couldn't afford any of this machine brand new. It was so expensive.
So when they threw it out, did we collect them?
Or someone gave it to me, donated to me. Like this machine like this, NYU gave it to me.
And how much was
NYU
that?
Film School.
How much was that when it was retail?
Like you said, a few $100,000. Yeah, it was $100,000. This is the first Sony playing 2-inch machine. This is all before CB. You can open it, take a
The
look.
TV stations use that kind of machine?
Mostly TV station,
They were uprights and they were two-way cubicle.
yeah. Correct.
They were matched together, playback and record.
Keep going.
Everybody, try and talk up loud if you can for the camera.
Good so
Yeah,
far?
okay. All right, so let's go back to the
Back?
next page. Go back. Continue scrolling. Let's go back further.
Oh, back more?
Yeah. No, we didn't see everything. So hit this again.
Here?
Yeah. Scroll down.
I like the green wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But today, everybody does keying. Everybody want to do 3D and special effect. Continue down.
Do you sell 3D cameras today?
I have a 3D camera collection, Toshiba,
How many pieces of equipment do you think you have in your collection overall? If you were talking character generators, video recorders, cameras, and so
No
on.
cameras.
How many would you think you have in that
Well, I
collection
would
on
not
Murray?
know how many I have. I never really counted, just slow down.
Thousands.
Yeah, slow.
More.
Keep doing that.
Slow.
Slow. Yeah, this is for a Sony color camera. This too.
What year did color begin?
Why?
1956.
When did color begin for like portables?
Color, I think is 70. Reel to reel, we go back to like 60 and 70. When 70 show up, color start to show up. And cassette start to show up, Betamax start to show up.
Well, you had the 1/4-inch Technicolor also.
That was around, yeah, around CV.
71?
Akai. This is the, if I have one Akai, that was the first color. The
Yeah.
Magna box.
Did you ever have a Telcan?
No, I probably don't.
What's a tall
What
Yeah.
year was that?
Just the name, they just call it Technicolor.
Telcan was an early consumer video format, a machine.
Can you go in,
You're talking about film, Technicolor.
Did somebody say?
can you go into an
No,
old
but
video
Technicolor had a
machine
video machine too.
and one that you never sold,
Quarter
like
inch.
one of these that cost $200,000 that you never owned? Do you have a level of technical skill that you could go into that machine, say, and get it working again if it wasn't working? I mean, you know your way, it's, what I'm trying to get to, is video kind of like very consistent, like, or does it radically change? Those computers are,
They're basically the same. They are like video head, they're analog, so they're quite easy. Not as hard as digital. Digital, too many black box. And something they don't want you to know.
right.
So
To
it's
work
not-
the equipment was quite simple, but to pull maintenance on it was difficult.
Right.
You need a schematic map
Right.
all the time.
Well,
You have schematics a lot,
Well,
don't you?
well, analog, sometimes you don't even need schematic, you can basically figure it out. But
Yeah,
digital,
right, yeah.
you're totally stuck if you don't
Right,
have any diagram.
What was there back then?
Here's a 3D, let's open up the 3D.
Right here?
Yeah.
When did they begin?
Scroll down, sir.
That's a Toshiba.
Slow, slow.
That was 20 years ago.
Oh,
So I had that, I bought 3 of them for $10,000 from Toshiba. I sold one, I kept 2. That's a real 3D.
Who would be interested in this equipment today?
I don't know, they are collectors.
Yeah.
They are collectors.
How about a branch of the Smithsonian Institution to mark this incredible transformation in human communication?
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They don't use this stuff anymore commercially, right?
No.
Well, today's 3D is still the same principle. This 3D was a shutter glass. Actually, it's a VHS format. One recorder, 2 tracks, left and right tracks, with two pickup, 2 lenses and 2 chips.
was that House of Wax? That was the first 3D movie I remember seeing with the Vincent
Oh, I
Price
don't-
back
Yeah,
in the
that's film
60s.
though, that's film.
That's
film.
film, I
Oh,
don't
right.
remember.
You know,
That's-
you
Oh,
You get confused because today they overlap.
Yes, there's a video, yeah. So,
Actually, today, even feature films are done on video
Yeah.
by computers and then transferred to film for the theaters because the theater managers don't want to pay the money to get the equipment to play back video to their audience.
like for instance, today the most popular camera is probably called Red. You probably heard of the camera called Red.
Oh,
Red camera is basically what you're talking about, replacing the film. Red camera has a resolution of 4K. 4K is the limit of a 35mm film. When you ultimate resolution, when you transfer 35, you get about 4K. So
That's
today-
4,000 lines for those of you.
4,000,
Yeah.
4K, I don't know if it's a 4,000 line or not.
Yeah.
What's high definition
1080,
High
1920, 2K,
definition is 2K.
2K,
Is considered 2K, so
Less.
4K is, or even less than 2K, yeah.
right, 1080 is a
You have
lot.
720p,
That's
you
what-
have 1080i.
This was the camera that I was trying to get Thomas to buy.
Red?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red, it's called a
Everybody-
red camera.
The Red is the cheapest high-res video camera on the market today.
Correct,
It's a new product.
35,000.
75,000.
Not even.
So
Seven-
The body
you get one for
17,000 without
17,000, yeah.
lens.
You can get one for 17,000.
You can get the
The
body.
body.
You get the body.
You go, if you find a lens for it,
Yeah.
you can rent a lens too.
Well, no, with the lens, the way I do it, the way I did it is I get full Canon lens.
You put a Canon lens on the Red.
Just make sure the aspect ratio and make sure the surface is same size as the lens.
Because otherwise you get vignetting.
Correct, otherwise you get a black ring.
When you zoom in, all of a sudden you see the round
Right.
part of the lens.
Especially wide angle lens.
Right.
Especially.
How about using the Red for film chain?
Well, red is a camera. It's
No,
not-
I know, but I mean, using that sensor, that
They're
body,
already doing it.
they're doing that, using that as a film
All the
chain.
film transfer, their sensors are 4K. They're already doing that, so you don't have to have, they already jumped. The next one they coming out is 5K.
Why?
Oh, film, you want the sharpest.
Mhm.
How about the IMAX? That's 7 millimeter. That's more than 5K.
Oh, okay.
How much is that?
Oh, I don't know. As many K as you can do it. The technology, it's like a chip, like a CPU.
And it's
Uh,
about
yeah,
7 to 8,
Right, what's the speed of your computer?
theoretically.
Well, my question is that how does the red deal with the contrast ratio? Because like film can deal with
It's a
the
chip. It's a chip.
Well, I know, but video, the problem with video is that it can't take that contrast between black and white. And does the red deal with that better? Because like what's different about film is that it's got such a huge contrast ratio. You know, that it can, I think it's
It's
12.
all improving. It's
Yeah.
all getting better.
That's the pedestal
But-
control.
In fact, the 4K, the red, the company Red said you should shoot the camera a little underexposed. Do not shoot overexposed. Overexposed is the whole clipping.
Right.
Yeah.
Clip everything.
Because like with film, we had to pull some film one time because we thought we were shooting with an N9, so we blew it out completely, so that when they developed it, they pulled it. But they were so happy because we blew out every bit of grain there was on the film, you see, because you were pulling it as opposed to pushing it.
Yeah, it's improving. But we all know this is the direction. Everything is turning into solid state and everything is turning into electronic. Like Kodak is slowly out of business, like Polaroid.
Right.
It's unfortunate. Yeah. But I don't know if you heard about this story. Fuji and Kodak. Fuji was very big in China. They jumped ahead of Kodak. So Kodak jumped in and say, I want the market, I want the film market. The Chinese are big demand in film. So Kodak went into China market and bought all the developing company.
Wow.
And all of a sudden everything into electronics. And they are told they lost money like crazy.
Wow.
How quick did that happen? Just in a year or
Few
something?
years.
Yeah,
Few years. When they were buying it,
yeah.
Fuji already knows, but secretly making chips.
Oh,
Secretly making chips. Chips ahoy.
and that's why Kodak is the one that did that, one broke?
Yeah.
Oh.
They thought they were the
Terrible.
smart ones.
Polaroid, you can look at Polaroid. Polaroid used to be a big company.
Oh, I know.
You could go to the trade show, Polaroid is nobody, they're selling handbags now. With a Polaroid there. Yeah, you could go to the trade show.
But Polaroid's whole attraction was instant. Now you have instant with your digital.
In fact, a few years ago, I went to China with a Polaroid. Everybody still looking, staring. Wow.
The only thing that's left is that if you print pictures on your computer, they fade. And that's the only place left, I think, for Kodak and all these companies is that ink to, that high heat.
Well, film's still important because if you want to deal with 70 millimeter or IMAX, I probably still use film.
But if you want to develop pictures and you want them to last, you still have to have that high quality paper and
Absolutely,
that high
absolutely,
heat
right.
Ink that presses into
Well,
the
you can't
paper.
get, you can't turn, technology sometimes cannot wash off, It still has, it survived, it still has a reason. But
What do you call lasting? Because Polaroids I have from the 60s
No, but
are fine.
that's different. I'm talking about when you print pictures off of your computer,
Right.
they do not last. They will fade. You put them in
And what period of time?
Couple of years.
a year?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think they
I have pictures I printed eight years ago.
Well, but are they exposed
Well,
to the
they're
sun?
up on my bulletin board. No, they're in my house.
Well, I'm just saying that I was shocked at how quickly they deteriorated.
Well, film is based on the silver. Silvers will be oxidized by sun very quickly compared to thermal, compared
Well,
to
it's,
wax.
yeah, I mean, like, it's like color photos, even from the 60s, will fade, whereas black and white photos,
Yeah, you're right about that.
it's there forever. Hopefully.
Yeah, the Polaroids are
So anyway, let's go back.
Sorry.
Wanna go back?
Yeah,
Here?
yeah,
Right.
go back again. Go to the first one.
Boom.
Touch it.
Click it.
Scan down slowly.
Slowly.
You can just hit the down button on the
Yeah, that
computer.
button. You can even use a key. There's a
Yeah, the down button.
down button.
No, there's a down button.
Arrow, down.
There's a
up,
down arrow, yeah.
Keep going down.
There's an up arrow.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Keep going?
Yeah, this,
Yeah.
yeah. This university, this job we do, this service work, we modify the studio to become HD, because today all the SD become HD. So we go. This is the J.P. Morgan Video Award name Jones job. I currently maintain. And this is Smithsonian I maintain, the video award. They are from Nanjing Park.
Where is the Morgan,
Morgan Stanley is in Brooklyn,
oh,
Metrotown.
oh, okay.
Downtown.
450 television.
450, that's 450 TVs?
Correct. But they don't realize, they think they bought a fantastic office. I told them this is like this is a TV. If you have one TV, you know how often you call your technician. You have 450 TV.
What do you do when one of them goes out?
Well, so I say the job we do is like painting a bridge. When we're painting the front of the bridge.
Start all over again.
Yeah. It's start over and over, yeah. The CRT goes back.
Oh,
CRT is phosphor. When you used to have TV in the house, how often you call repairman? This is 450 of them.
That's a good client.
Well, they don't cut the meat directly.
looks like Joe Patton from the movie.
Yes. Right, so there.
what movie is that?
Patton,
Oh,
George C. Scott.
Did you do the video installation at the Chinese and American Museum?
No, I did. I mostly do service.
Oh.
Yeah. Somebody else.
Not anymore.
Or you appear after what someone else?
Yeah, somebody messed, yes, messed it up, and give it to me, yeah. Otherwise, they don't need me.
Back?
They go back, yeah.
Back. Okay, here we go, boom.
And this is all the, yes, this is the,
Boom?
yeah, hit that. Then scan down.
Right.
This is my basement. Harold was talking about my basement. This is what, you really should use the arrow key. It has that arrow key up and down.
Oh,
show arrow keys.
oh.
That will go up and down, right. Up and down, even left and right.
Sign says sale, that means you selling that stuff?
So this is the equipment,
Yeah.
all the used equipment, old equipment I'm selling. Keep going.
Do you have a Beta ED?
I do.
You do?
I
Is it working?
do.
Yeah?
Who buys the old equipment? Just collectors
Oh,
or?
that's the equipment.
My main,
Freaks like us.
my current business mostly are transfer. So they have an off space, they can't have I have a machine.
But what do you do with tape that just sticks? Like I have old tape that they stuck in my.
Try that. Because the tape has a coating in the back.
Acetate.
Right.
You said dry them or try them?
You bake them.
Oh, really?
You literally bake them.
You
Do
bake the
not-
video also? I know
do
they
not-
bake the audio.
Do not, the same way.
Yeah.
Tape is a tape. It doesn't matter, audio, or video. Do not do over 120 degrees.
This is about the bottom.
120 degrees, the magnet starts to go crazy.
Oh.
So as long as you maintain 120 degrees, you bake for a day or weeks, slow bake.
Really?
If you dry them, then you play, you have no problem.
Oh,
Really?
That's part of the problem with the tape. And sometimes you take that tape, if it's a cassette, you load it in the cassette, it will jam the machine. It
right, and if
damages
you
your
force
machine.
the machine and it ceases to work right, even on the tapes that played before, you can repair that, right?
Well, we just baked it.
No, I'm talking about playing a playback deck.
Playback, well, you could get parts, we repair them. Otherwise, what I do is I substitute them. I have enough machines.
Oh, you
I will
damage
take
it.
this machine and for that machine, swap until later on, I totally run out of parts.
So how,
You have a lot of heads.
How to get belts?
Hard to get
Rubber.
which?
The rubber goes bad.
Oh, yeah.
Rubber doesn't have
Oh,
any
really?
rubber.
You were,
yeah, I was gonna ask, how do you said bake?
Yes. Look, almost like a baking oven.
what does that
The
mean?
way I do it, I tell you, the way I do it, the safest way is put it under the sun. In the morning till night, if there's a sun, like direct.
Mm-hmm.
You want to really put on the roof?
Yeah.
In the sun.
But not in the rain.
Not in the rain. But it happened one time in the rain. The next day I put it under the sun, it still work.
You can't use wax?
You can use the lamp, but be careful, lamp is concentrated sometimes, heat. You don't want concentrated heat. You don't want over 120 degrees.
Oh,
120 degrees, the magnet become free running.
Mm-hmm.
Is it best say 100 to 120? I mean, is there a range?
I think it's 120.
But at 80, if it was 80 or 85, it wouldn't do it?
Fine, it wouldn't do anything,
Oh.
according to the website.
So what about, there's no friction when you bake it? You lose the friction?
No, you bake it, actually, you bake the back. Some of the tape, you said, both sides are shiny, doesn't have that part.
Right, right,
Only with the coating.
Oh, the dull side?
The downside.
right.
This all was a better improvement to the tape, but it actually made the tape worse.
Yeah.
But what about the coercivity of the magnetic properties of the tape?
It's 120 degrees.
No, I understand, but I mean, how much of an image can you retain from, say, something shot in 1968?
I think totally reserved, if you don't go low above that temperature.
Totally?
Totally.
Seriously?
I would believe it. It's a magnet.
Well, do you have a special proc amp chain for that?
You don't need pocket amp, you just play. You just,
Really?
yeah, just make sure your machine is fine.
Really?
Well, I experiment with a few things, like you said, using a lamp. If my lamp is closer to the tape, so partially erased, I will see the image strong, weak, that's erased. If it's totally erased, it's all snow. Partially erased, part of the image, high contrast image, and then become very fade out picture, and then contrast.
If you force a tape through a machine, the ones that stick,
You
are you
damage,
making the heads dirty?
you
Yes.
damage the head.
Yes.
Or you
You
do
damage
damage
the
the head
tape.
when it quits playing?
You could play your stop because there's nothing you can do. The drum is so shiny, it's almost like.
Right, I know
Like
that. I
glass.
tried cleaning, it didn't
No,
do any good.
don't. I used to listen to people say, "I'll spread some silicone and all this."
Oh.
None of it helped. It just made the tape worse. It's, you want the moist to get out. Because it's like putting two glass with some water in between.
Uh-huh.
That's what happened. It sticks so well, it
Wow.
won't move.
It has to be in the open air too, right? If you
Over
have.
there, you have to have well, that's why put on the roof is the cheapest way.
Right.
I tell some somebody I put on the roof. They said, no, I had to bake 3 days.
Natural
4
sunlight?
days. They charge people a few $100 just to bake it.
Wow.
And what about, forgot what I was gonna say.
Is it 120 degrees on the roof when you have a black tar roof or something?
Well, I watch my plastic start to melt, then I'm in trouble.
But I mean,
But
does
the sun
does-
doesn't really go up above 120 degrees under normal circumstances.
I'm saying, it usually doesn't go even to 100.
Right.
Does it?
It doesn't have to be 100, it doesn't have to be, as long as it's moist.
Oh, I
It's
see.
like your clothes, you
Oh,
dry your
oh.
clothes, as long as, or the water basically.
So when it's not sticky anymore.
How
Correct.
do you keep dust off of it in a thing like that? How do you have ventilation
I
without
have no
dust?
trouble with dust, there's no, what do you mean
really?
by dust?
Well, I mean, if you have it on the rooftop, it seems to me there's a certain bit of grime or dust in the air if it's there for 3 days. I mean,
Well, no, not 3 days, I put on some, the roof, I put 1 day.
Oh, one day.
Is enough. If it's summertime.
What about wiping with cloth?
It doesn't help, it's water.
have you had amazing stories of stuff you've retrieved?
Well, I just did the burrito for Mama.
Oh, really?
Who's the beetle?
Oh, really?
What beetle?
Beatles, there's only one Beatle, I guess.
The ones that
The
changed
five
the name.
Beatles.
The Beatles.
Yeah, okay, the beetles.
You ever hear of them?
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about
Andy
the
Warhol,
movie,
I
he
did
was talking
some
about the
Andy Warhol.
Oh,
Really?
Andy
You
Warhol.
restored footage?
Yeah.
Ah.
Have you been able to tweak the machines to have a better output?
Well, the way I do it, I have 6 machines.
Right, but I mean, do you
Now, I
tweak,
select, not every machine play properly.
right, because of the skew and...
Yeah, the mechanical arrow, so you found one that will play without the tracking bar.
oh.
Your most of the problem is, it doesn't synchronize. So you see a picture, and then all of it has snow, and then you see a picture again, snow, they're not tracking.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
What
Tracking
format?
meaning they're not synchronized, like your
Oh,
phone
okay.
socket is broken.
It's a physical adjustment of the head and
Yeah.
the tape, and it has to be very close to what the original
Right.
alignment was.
It drips.
Like a, like a,
has
bro-
to-
like a
it-
broken time code.
Well, it's a line, when you record the tape, it's called helical scan. You scan at an angle. So when you play back, not at the same angle, you will see snow. Because it mistrack.
Why are you gonna see snow?
When you miss the track,
Oh, okay.
It's the alignment of the tape to the
the
head,
head, right.
Alright.
What format are we talking?
How what?
What
all
format?
helical formats.
All helical format. we
But
have
like the
them all.
6 machines, you're talking 3/4 or?
So you go to each helical. Today, machine's still helical except for disk or hard drive.
But like with the Beetle job, that was,
Either that was a CV or an AV. CV tape and AV tape.
Oh.
CV tape and AV tape.
Doesn't that have something to do with the recording head on the recording device?
Yes, when you record, well, all machine, the factory has a standard,
Mhm.
a so-called standard tape.
Yeah.
So all machine, all the repairman work on this machine should follow the standard track. So all machine, the head angle is approximately the same.
Mhm.
But as you know, machine is an arrow, so not every machine exactly the same. And then they're not exactly the same, they don't track properly, and you will see snow.
There you go.
Why, I've had experience trying to get video from the 60s and 70s, and it literally is impossible. Even stuff like the David Susskind show, you know, things like that. I have a tape from '85. They couldn't get an original that I taped off the air, you know, that now I have to have cleaned up. But why did all the TV, did they just think these tapes were worthless and throw them out because they're, I mean, I had people that had good budgets, like $1 million budgets,
to
were
me,
looking
I
to
do.
get old, but those
They'll do
TV
it.
stations didn't have them, didn't have any record of them. I mean, let's use this
Well,
and
I
go in
found-
the dumpster.
Yeah, I found
Got the footage.
I found our country, our people, American, too spoiled, too rich.
Wasteful.
Right, the minute it's old, they don't want to see it. They say it's trash. They literally want to throw it in a garbage can to make them feel better. Also, you know, not
Space.
enough storage. Not everybody like me, you know,
Right.
few floors. but
Even NASA,
which
even
has-
NASA said that they they re-recorded
Right,
over their
right.
tapes.
Like
Do you believe that? Of the
Really?
moon landing.
like when video,
They weren't trying to hide
Really
anything,
a
of
moon
course.
yeah,
We all know they really landed the first
You
time.
mean there were really moon people there?
well, you go to
They didn't land
ABC,
the
you
first
go to ABC, you look at their trash can.
We'll
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
because
Tons of
I'll be
tapes.
over
You
the
go to
tapes.
Materials for the Arts.
Yeah,
You can find tons of,
Right,
of,
right,
of
exactly.
stock thrown out.
right.
Can I ask you, can you use the 2-inch videotape for audio? What is the difference?
Should be the same.
Should be the same. No kidding.
Should be the same.
You know how much they threw out in the Materials for the Arts? Tons.
Say,
Tons.
Well, in the old time,
Literally tons.
CD tape was $20 or $40. Some
Right,
people don't want to pay that.
right.
And some people take the computer, data tape, and cut it to half.
Right, I
and
heard
still-
that, they said, but
it
other
still
people
work.
said, don't do it, that it would ruin your, I
It's
never
not good for
did it.
the head, yeah.
But people,
Because-
it
Which
would,
is-
it would
When
ruin
they
it.
say not good for the head or good for the head is the material, but remember it's iron oxide. Iron oxide, I guess, depending how much oxide is, how much metal is, and how hard it is. If it's very, very hard, they probably not very abrasive to the head. It will polish the head. It will
Wear it
It'll
out.
ruin the
wear
head.
out,
Put a groove in the head, huh?
move the head.
Can you
right.
replace it, have an old, say, the old CD decks, if the head is shot? Can you, are there parts, what do you, besides scavenger, is there any way you can actually create a new head out of contemporary
You can
parts?
probably still handmade them.
And make it.
Yeah.
You can do that
No, I
yourself?
can't, but I have enough heads.
Oh.
But their companies still make heads.
Oh,
So
really?
like 2-inch machine, you say, can I play, you have a 2-inch claw machine, there are people still making the head for $1,000.
Have they been improved? Has that end of it been improved at all?
No, no.
Because I know they can, you know, with audio machines, there's a lot of improvements that have been done on vintage audio machines. 10-20% improvement of circuitry and head wiring. You know, for playback of archival material.
I had a half-an-inch tape. I think the Church of Christ had a media center, and the kid worked for about a month to transfer the half-inch tape to, I think, 1-inch tape, which he said actually that I didn't know that was possible. He claimed that it would boost the tape and make it much better. I found the 1-inch tape. Is that possible to take an original and make something off of the original that's better than the original?
I don't know whether it's bad. I always say this is always a degree.
I always
It's
thought
always
so
about a
too.
degree. And why today, you know, digital is so wonderful, because there's no degradation.
I found when I
Yeah.
copied
When we
DVDs,
were
it got
dealing with the
darker.
reel-to-reel machine, our biggest problem was deal with the generation loss. Every time you make a copy, you lose it.
Right.
Generation, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And today, digital, it's become transparent. There's no loss, there's literally no loss.
but on the flip side of that, if you got a half-inch tape and you're bouncing it up to a 2-inch tape, because the feel of the 2-inch tape is larger, you're not gonna see as much of a generation loss.
Possibly.
Well, we know in the old time, anything serious has to be 1 inch.
Did the 1-inch tapes have the same problem? 1-inch tape have the same problem as a half-inch tape? Did they have that
I-
aging problem where it gets
I
stuck?
would say the same thing. I would say the same thing. Something they didn't discover.
And why did the shiny, what was different about the shiny
Shiny
tape
part
on
is
the
the
side?
binder.
Oh.
The rough part, the binding. I guess by putting a binding, I guess less wrinkle maybe, I don't know, to support the material.
But usually the rough is on the inside or the outside?
Usually rough is outside.
Outside.
Outside. So with digital, we have no more this kind of problem. Today you can make 1,000 copies and quality is still maintained the same. It was impossible, it was a dream for us in the old time.
But what you're really saying is if you take an original videotape from 1968, and then if you put it through a digital up converter, a scalar up converter like a Geffen, or there's several of them, you could actually get a better image,
No, not better, you get a copy of that, from then on, no more generation.
but no degradation.
Right.
So really, if you edited it, you would still have a better, unless you were doing a live mix to broadcast, you would have,
Well, anyway, generation loss is not a problem
Yeah.
anymore with the digital.
Yeah, because it's now cloning.
Right.
so it's theoretically possible to do better with the same tape 40 years later, to actually do a better finished product.
Well, you'd be getting like almost original. By the time you finish editing, your footage look almost as good as original.
But most of us think, an old tape, it's lost its coercivity, it's lost its image holding properties. People think, oh, those old tapes, they're no good anymore. Not because it sticks, but because it doesn't hold the image.
Well, if you can recreate it, sure, I'd recreate a better image today, with 40 years ago's technology. But if you want something original 40 years ago,
No, I'm just saying that a lot of people think, in general, people think that old tapes do not have a good image.
it's true. We didn't have that high resolution.
No, but I mean that it's worse than how it was when it was originally shot. You keep hearing stories
I don't know
about this.
about that. Well, we're
How do you turn
getting,
your
what,
computer on? Somehow we turned it on.
okay.
No, you
I
keep
think
hearing
it's the
stories
power-
about,
power-
if you
power
don't
wire.
transfer your tape
Power
every 10 years, you're gonna have a degraded image.
So.
But that's not
turn it on,
necessarily
turn
true,
the
is what he's
switch.
saying.
There is a switch, okay.
I know a lot of people have thrown away tapes.
Well, ABC, NBC does all the time. They're back.
Have you worked with any archives? Because I hear there are supposed to be archives in Hollywood that are trying to save some of the stuff, or is that strictly film? Is anyone trying, because I know on video, on the internet,
This wireless,
they,
That one's not on.
they have a thing called the archives on the video, so whenever you post a blip, you can supposedly they're gonna keep it forever. It goes in the video archives, and if it's funded, it's supposed to have everything that's put on the internet
When this
forever.
plugged out,
I know they had quite a bit of funding, I don't know if you know anything about that or not.
I'm not familiar with it. I think they try to store it on the disk or something. I don't know.
I don't know how they would do that. I had a strange experience with VHS tapes, because I had some that were 20 or 25 years old. And one brand, I can't remember the name now, it wasn't Sony, played perfectly, and
It's
the
on?
other ones were all
no,
shot.
here,
it is, There's that wire, there's something wrong with the wire.
When you find out the brand,
When
let
the
us know.
computer shut off, maybe we had to hit the ship at full.
Oh, yeah, maybe,
Yeah, it might have to do that. Also, there's no power here, so this has to redo.
oh, okay.
Because the computer can shut off.
Oh, that's good,
It's a
okay.
perfect man to have a technical problem around.
There you go.
Right. Now you gotta
Zoom back.
Zoom back.
Zoom back,
Like the
okay.
wire.
You see, all he
There
did
we
was
go,
look,
perfect. We go. Good.
he looked at the box and called the problem.
what do you want?
All right, we're gonna go to red. Scan down. Scan down.
Red camera straight.
Red. Just go back. So this is the Canon lens I use for the red camera. Scan down. Okay.
Do you think Canon is the best one? I got a new Canon V30, it's incredible.
Well, I picked the Canon lens because I also want to get a still camera. I want the lens match. And also, in order to get a super wide angle 10 millimeter, Canon seemed like a good pick. They also somebody make an adapter for the red camera to adopt it.
Oh, to the Canon.
To the 10 millimeter.
For the B&H Photo, they called the Canon V30 was the camera of the year.
Oh, really?
He's talking about a detachable lens.
Yeah, that's-
How much is that, a 10 millimeter, Mr. Louis?
The 10 millimeter lens was, I believe, was $700.
That's not too bad.
Right. 10 millimeter. That's a
Is there any distortion with
no
it?
distortion. Well,
Because for the 35 millimeter chip size.
it's perfect size.
Yeah.
It matched the red perfectly.
Really?
Yeah, perfect. So everything's straight. I say you do get keystone if you're too close.
Right.
What is the term red camera? Is that just the name of it, or?
Red camera is developed by the guy who made the eyeglass. What's the name? Argo? The guy with the sunglass? He sold the company. He got quite a few millions. And he decided in California, he started a company called Red.
But is it based on the fact that something about the camera looks red at some point? Or
No,
or-
No, he just calls it red.
it's just a fancy word, I guess. You can go to the web, hit that,
Like this?
hit that.
Excuse me?
That's
Oh, I
what
don't
it
know.
is.
See it here.
Well, maybe scan down, let's see what it is.
It needs Maggie.
Let's see. Keep going. We can try this, hit the red cam. So you're gonna go to the red website and find out all about
Oh,
this red cam.
oh.
They coming out of 3D camera,
Oh, wow.
Camera red one.
the red one. yeah.
What do they shoot Avatar in?
Avatar, some are red, yes. There's another camera, there's quite a few military
Isn't it
cameras.
IMAX or something?
IMAX is normally film, it's 70 millimeter.
Oh, really?
film, But Avatar shot on video.
Is IMAX at 60 frames?
A frame, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you use a shutter glass, it has to be 120, but it's polarized, so it might be 60. 120, remember, you waste a lot of film.
Here's your camera.
Yeah.
Here's your camera.
What is the inch tape in that?
70 millimeters, 35 millimeter double.
Oh.
This wide. It's almost like a 2-inch tape.
Right.
Here's your camera.
This is the body. This is the body for 17,000.
And what does that camera cost?
17,000.
This body costs 17,000.
But that has the chip in it. You could tack a lens on there, and then you need a drive to absorb the
Right, put a
data.
lens in the front, but it doesn't use, it's not standard mount. It's a film mount.
Yeah.
So you get an adapter, so you can fit 35.
It's not used professionally, is it?
I'm sorry?
It's not used professionally in place.
Yeah, it is.
It's all movie now.
Yeah.
All the fancy
Oh, yeah.
movies are using this.
It's hot.
Yeah,
It's cheap
so, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
for
So I
a
don't know
big
you call it
movie.
professional movie,
Right,
because it cannot be as.
Even compared to other digital cameras, the Sony Vericam and Panasonic and
Sony
$100,000 cameras
Well,
of
Sony
video.
broadcast camera, 90,000.
Yeah,
It's not cheap.
yeah, this is much cheaper, and it actually has higher resolution, double the resolution of a lot of those cameras.
So we go back.
That's what
Get out.
You wanna get out?
Yeah, get out.
Where do you want those?
Let's see, what else?
I can't afford this. I can't afford this, and I can't afford this.
Look, we turn.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to the film transfer.
Here?
This,
Oh. Good.
so scan, slowly scan down.
Hit the arrow back up.
Oh, good. Sorry.
There you go.
The other way.
How do you want
Is that your transfer facility?
Yeah, this is how I make a living now.
Oh,
Transferring film, transferring tapes for people.
oh, you want that one?
Window, huh?
Keep going.
Why is it so expensive to have like an 8mm camera
Right there?
tape put to DVD?
It's not
It's not.
expensive, it's, what's.
Well, it seems expensive. I'm talking about it being I'm not talking about any prices I saw here, but I know that it's something like, I don't know, $10 or $20 to have one little reel of
There
tape.
we go.
Well, that's not too bad.
Transfer it to a DVD, you could
not-
film it and
that's
have a little
expensive.
flicker, but you have it.
Well, you had to set up, you had to make sure it's focused.
No charge for this.
All right, we could keep going.
Mr. Louis, do you do transfers to DVHS or to some other, like like an HD format
I
or?
basically just do DVD. If a customer requests it, give me on the hard drive, I charge you more money to put on the hard drive.
Or a
say you want me
Blu-ray?
to render on HD, I charge you more.
Or a Blu-ray?
or Blu-ray, yeah.
You run to Blu-ray as well?
Well, but Blu-ray today, you're renting 20 minutes DVD, takes you 30 hours. How much am I gonna charge you?
I'm sorry, I don't understand that. What
It
is-
takes 30 hours of renting a DVD.
To render it?
Yeah, Blu-ray, yes.
You can't run a Blu-ray in real time.
Well, I guess right now there are machines, but we're talking about doing it on the computer.
I'm not sure.
Today you could do it on the computer easily, but stand-alone recorded Blu-ray, I don't know if it's available. It's probably available, probably expensive. But sooner or later, that would be the direction, yeah. Sooner or later, people are gonna directly do it.
What about DVHS? Do you like DVHS at all?
Now, I spoke to, when I was in the red class, they gave us a class. They talk about how they make movies. So we talk about storage. So they say, when you shoot a movie with all the Hollywood actors, it costs you a lot of money. Don't depend on record on the hard drive and put the hard drive away.
Yeah.
They say you basically, you really have to put on the hard disk, you put on the tape. Those tape machine probably cost you $20,000. The Sony machine is still $100,000 with the editing. Panasonic probably nowadays has $6,000.
There's a good JVC DVHS, but what is it, 25?
Probably, yeah. Those are would be the application. He said, the way they describe, if you take a hard drive and take a tape, and you go on 10th floor and you drop it, what happened?
The tape survives.
The tape probably survived 90%, the hard drive is 0.
Yeah.
Hard drive from the table down is almost 50% gone.
Do you remember a medium that a lot of people don't know about, Duart laser film? The laser film.
Yes.
The flexible sheet, you know?
Yeah, well,
You could see through it?
well, I know Duart, I went to visit Duart, I know they were using laser to ride the film. Like, say we shot everything on red, I'm gonna give him the footage, and I want to transfer to the film, and they use a laser scan. That's
A
what
laser scan?
Scan.
To
To recreate a 35mm film.
Oh, so that's different. That's a laser shooting a piece of film,
Yes.
a piece of 35.
Yeah.
But
Convert from video to tape.
the medium I'm talking about is something called laser film that was like a transparent plastic sheet that they would.
That sounds like holography.
I know it sounds like that. It's something that not too many people know about, and it was very short-lived. I don't know if anybody's using it. I just thought you might know about it.
No,
Laser film.
I know. I went to visit Duart a few months ago.
Well, they had this 20 years ago, laser film.
I don't know.
And it's similar to the laser disc, but it was optical.
Well, they say there's no such thing as permanent storage anymore, because I think even things like, I remember first came out with the floppy disk, and they're sort of going out of fashion, and there's always the next step. And so some media that you have all your stuff stored on,
Yeah,
there's going to be another guy like him that has that media, is still going to be out
one
of
day
date.
we're going to be very careful. We won't be able to play by a lot of things.
Right, right.
You have any beta cams at your place?
Yes,
DV cams,
yes.
cameras and decks?
What was beta after AV?
AV, then you go to beta cassette or VHS, and then you go into high A, millimeter, then you go into digital tape. Today it's become hard drive or compact flash. So I don't know if you want to watch this. This is, recently I'm into translation. Because I was with my father all my life. When I was young, he'd take me to Chinese opera, watch opera. And most of the time, I don't know what are they saying about. I have no idea. And till my father died. I still don't know what's going on with Chinese opera. But then I miss my father. I start to watch video. I start to watch opera. Then I realized there are subtitles in Chinese. All of a sudden, I understand what I was watching. So I really want to thank the subtitle. So what I've been doing is pick some opera and convert to Chinese. And I think Western people will appreciate it. What I found opera from been watching all this, it's all storytelling, like 1,000 years ago, 300 years ago. It's all consequences, all the things happening in life, how to solve the problem. They're telling you a story of how to, betray your wife, or betray your country.
This tape that's on here mentions the emperor. When did the emperors go out in China? I don't know.
Manchuria, it was like 1900. So I think we today West and East gonna meet. Otherwise, this world is gonna collapse. I really think seriously. You need to understand my culture. I need to understand your culture. The only way for me to let you understand our culture is through opera. If I could convert them into English. So, because the subtitle I found, all of a sudden I understand the story. I think Western people will understand the same thing if they're watching a subtitle. So this is a subtitle I did.
You know something?
Why don't you play, hit the playback.
Here?
No.
Here?
Is translation very tricky with Chinese?
Well, translation, I think it's not just one person. I think the whole world, everybody could contribute. Everybody.
No, but I'm saying, but translations, I've heard the same translations of different things. It's amazing. Those little nuances in language can make a huge difference. I follow some translations on Japanese stuff, and they'll say like, "You love me, but I'm irresistible." Things that would not make sense.
Center, hit it again.
Twice?
No,
Yeah,
just
I
one.
don't know what the, okay, it's coming, it's coming.
Oh, wait, yeah, right there.
Right here?
Yeah, I don't know.
How much have you translated
No.
like this?
Again? Again?
Again, let's see what happens.
Again.
All right, let's do this.
There?
Yeah.
Back?
Oh, there it goes, yeah, it's going on.
Now what?
Just wait,
Just
wait
wait.
till I finish. I translated a couple of operas.
For what then?
I'm sorry,
I mean, what then?
was 2 hours, every word,
A lot of
and
work.
not really English.
Yeah.
This one's the short one because it's on the internet.
Right.
Oh.
Oh, do you post on the?
Yeah, I
the
post
internet?
on my website.
Oh, but you don't go on YouTube?
No, not yet, I'm working on
Now what?
it. It's coming.
You can read Chinese now?
Yes.
The directions are right there.
I can't read.
Hit it.
This one?
Yeah.
No.
No, you read Chinese the other way.
Yeah. Is it Japanese you read backwards?
Drag it here.
What? Here?
No, up on the screen.
The audio. See the green bar?
Right there.
No, raise pointing, the green bar.
Oh, we don't have the audio going in. Want me to-
Move it up.
want me to
Move
plug
it
in
to
the
your right.
audio?
Move it to your right, you'll make it loud.
He will make
Yeah,
it.
but we don't have the audio plugged in up top. Yeah,
Bring that up, bring that up.
see that green? There you go, that's good. Oh, there you go. Oh, let me plug it in because it's not in.
We're not getting any,
It's fine.
how do you get full screen?
Well, you're gonna drag it.
Okay.
I have to see the icon, I don't see the icon.
How do you
Drag it. No, it's wrong one.
The sound's playing, but it's not moving on the screen.
Yeah.
Can we help you out, George?
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta watch over it.
We lost.
That happens to me when I have two screens open. You couldn't have
You don't
two
have to
screens
head
open,
to
do
the way.
you? There isn't a screen under that, is there? Oh, the TV. Oh.
No, the sound, it's not hooked down here.
Oh, that's what it is, okay.
You're looking over them.
Oh, there's no audio here. What is it?
What kind of reaction do you get from opera lovers?
I don't know yet. I'm waiting for your response.
Well, no, I love it. I love it. I'm very a big supporter of what you're doing. I think it's very important to bridge culture and
Yeah,
that.
the sound out,
No, we can't get the audio out of this. The cable's not long enough.
You wanna make it larger?
I don't know how to make
This doesn't have an audio converter.
it. Yeah, right, the audio didn't stay in. It's
Yeah.
okay, but that, you got the idea. I find if I understand the offer with the subtitle, I think American could do the same. It's the same. It's not
How
very
many makes,
interesting.
you look like a tech wave makes three big, no?
It's
Well, I
interesting.
think it's
The
fine.
Italian opera people don't understand.
But
it.
they also need subtitle.
Right.
The Italian offer is also
But the
interesting.
libretto, I had a friend who was opera lover. I never got into it because I read the libretto and like the actress was dying of a broken heart. Where it seems that the way you describe Chinese opera, it's much more reality based. It's much more life-solving problems. It seemed to me to be more relevant
Yeah,
than Italian opera.
So, you know, I said, we have a war right now with Iraq, we should look at this 1,000 years ago, how did we solve that problem? It's still a...
Right on.
I also found something interesting when I was translating the opera about what do you call it? Like,
What?
I had it longer and then it just stopped playing.
It went off,
it's over.
or maybe it takes.
Oh, it's over?
Yeah. The indicator, the sweep is on all the way on the left. So
It's starting over.
Have you tried showing these subtitle videos to anyone that's a real opera lover?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm just beginning to do it.
Oh.
I'm just beginning to do it. I found some people watching together with me, and they made a comment, they said, any situation, there's a solution. By looking because everything happened before.
Trying to blow it up?
This is not new.
I had it.
Oh, you did?
I had it, yeah, but it was at the end.
Oh. So you're trying to go back, rewind.
Oh, it's already cut. I didn't know
I
that.
just said the arrow should go back. It's back already at the beginning.
Okay, it's back at the beginning, so we
Let's go back. Maybe we could go back to the same.
keep going over there.
Let me try.
Every time I hit play, it gives me the screen here. Let me look.
No, move harder.
Do you have any pictures or anything of the 2,000 people pulling your father in that canal?
Well, you know about that?
Yeah, I saw your interview today. I found it very interesting.
Oh, I can talk about that.
And it's really an option for a movie? That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it should be. So let's open that. Where is the website? During the Cultural Revolution.
Oh, really?
They don't allow people playing.
And how about now?
Now it's more open.
Oh, really?
Well, we downloading it again.
Yes, he had.
Because I would think all the things with like emperors and it's very, you know, it's not even capitalist, it's pre-capitalist.
Well, I feel right now today the communist is dictator. Basically, it's a dictator.
Oh, of course.
It's a super dictator. They were worse than Chiang Kai-shek.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Hi, I just want to say hi. Okay. I guess they do wrong, but I want to contact you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
谢谢，谢谢。All right, thanks.
Are you at all interested or trying to do anything in China today? I mean, with your mastery of both languages and being technically proficient, are you thinking of doing anything, or are you just avoiding the whole situation?
Well, so this is the translation I did. And this is in Chinese words here in this translated in English. And I believe I told you the story. Her husband's a general. They're surrounded by the enemy, and they run out of food. So she's volunteered to sacrifice herself as a food for the soldier. So before she died, she sang this song.
Wow.
Does she actually die?
Yes, in the story, yes.
How many more operas do you have to translate?
I translated 3 operas.
But how many? There must be
Oh,
hundreds.
there's hundreds. So I was thinking.
You pick your favorites, or you pick the ones you think
Well,
are most
I
strong?
take the one I'm familiar with. When I was a kid, I'm familiar with it. I watch it. And, you know. I was thinking setting up a school or organization and have students doing nothing but translate, do subtitles. And then maybe go on YouTube and have a blog and everybody could translate themselves. Say, if I'm not translating correctly because my English is limited, or some people are Chinese are limited, and they could make changes.
Like a wiki.
Yeah, changes. Then just, you know, we don't care who gets the credit. We just want it.
You know, it's very interesting. They're volunteers that love like popular music, and I follow Japanese music, a little Chinese music, and they take these videos and torturous trouble translating them. There's a woman in Holland, and then what happens is half the time the music company kicks them off because they're actually pirating their music. Here they are, they love the star, they love the song, so they share the song with the world on the other side of the world so people like I can understand it. And what they get very little gratitude. All they do is get stepped on by the music company,
Well,
copyright.
Chinese opera and Italian opera both are sort of
Public domain.
it's dying to some degree.
Oh,
Are they
The
public
younger
domain
people
now?
now appreciate them.
Are they public domain now?
I don't know, but I think copyright's not even important anymore as long as somebody appreciates it.
well, you know, I see in there that it mentioned God in this opera. Now, I was at the Chinese Museum of America, Chinese, and they had there, they said that no religion or superstition themes were allowed in Chinese film. The film they show, they talked about the censorship they had in China. And I thought it was amazing. I mean, so would this be considered superstitious because it mentions God?
Well, speaking of politics, I mean, you know, communist China knows how they establish their power. So they are very afraid someone else copied their way to, you know, they're nervous. They're very, what do you call it?
Paranoid?
Yeah, paranoid. Yeah,
And skeptical.
They're afraid. They're very much afraid.
Paranoid, skeptical.
You can't stop the internet. The internet's just like
Google scared them.
it's just like the golden cart. They take over the river.
What Google doing in China is what the government in China want to do. Google is doing it themselves. The Chinese is not going to allow that at all. Chinese doesn't want you to get together. They don't want you to form a group.
But once they have the technical skills, they'll figure out a way to get around the government box. That's what they're doing in
Well, that's
Iran
what-
now. They're
the
sending out
Google-
videos.
The Google does that.
No.
I think the whole.
I'm saying the technology, though, once the people get technically wise, like in Iran, there are videos of riots in Iran that foreign video journalists aren't allowed to film because of the power of the camera in little hands like this one I'm holding right now.
They're very afraid. They're very afraid. Well, I think
Where would you do your translation school? You think of you contact like a university or like a museum or something?
well, I know NYU is teaching Chinese opera, so I asked some of the professors, do you know anything about this? They don't know. So this is something new,
Oh,
because all you need is to read in English. I think you will appreciate that music. I think
Right.
Chinese opera would be saved by Western people, not by Chinese people. Because I think Western people appreciate that more than Chinese. Chinese say, oh, this is old, this is...
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
they have that problem.
Yeah.
Like I found a lot of old things, old traditional, I found in Chinatown. There's no more in China. I found in Japan, old tradition, there's no more in China. They're all gone.
Well, you know, I went to a Pan-Asian party which had a variety of Asians, and I put on some of the music videos that I had because I was desperately looking for someone that shared my taste. They have Asians in America, my experience is they have no interest whatsoever in their culture. They're so focused on becoming totally American, you know, and diving into this country. They're not at all interested in moving back to their own heritage.
You also cannot blend them because
Terrible discrimination.
the world is full of discrimination. Chinese being called a secondary citizen all this time.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you
You
know.
know the history, they were lynched
Yeah,
in California.
but all of a sudden, you know, Chinese are smart. You know,
Right.
all of a sudden people realize.
Right.
So the same way we're treating North Korean or Cuban. We'll say, oh, we don't want to do business with you, you're terrible people. But meantime, they are preparing, just like how Communist China. We had sanctions with them, we didn't want to talk to them, but they were building radio from a shoe, you know, like a soda can, they cut soda can to make a chassis. I have all this footage. I went back there in the 70s, 80s. So I have all this footage. China, why has China become big? Because they were all preparing, like North Vietnam, and even Iraq, Iran. Those people are preparing because they know they're poor.
Right.
When you're poor, you appreciate what your quality, you know, what your talent is. When you're not poor, you're too relaxed. America is too relaxed.
America is spoiled, and immigrants are going to saviors of this country
Yeah,
because
America is like a football. Watching this and watch this. They want you to become a fool, so they can rip you off. Like,
not only that, they
like
think
a
if they
Wall
think
Street.
that they get their hands dirty, even working in something like you work with, you know.
Yeah.
I used to run a shop, and I found that
Yeah,
I could not get it. I mean, I
yeah.
wanted to stand there in suit and tie, looking pretty and making minimum wage.
Yeah.
Better than doing something
Nobody
manual and
wanted to
important.
do real work. I can sell drugs and just traffic. The
Right.
kids doesn't want to go to school. I can sell drugs.
Right.
I can live, you know, I can live like a king.
Right.
But why do I want to, you know, study?
Right.
Our country is, in
It's
trouble.
destroying itself.
We are. We're fat.
Right.
You know, we just, the way we're teaching kids, we teach the kid, oh, you got to know how great you are. What do you call self-esteem?
Yeah, self-esteem.
Too much. They don't know what they're talking about. You're self-esteem, you know. In China, it's opposite. We're putting you
They got
down.
this big shell and a little
I
thing
used to wear
inside.
lighting fixtures for a living in my
That's
store,
self-esteem,
and I
right?
couldn't get most
Big
middle-class
shell,
kids
little
to
thing
put
inside.
2 wires on a socket
Exactly.
to make holders or to do a minor lamp repair or to rebuild a chandelier. That was beneath them.
I can show you the whole footage in the 70s, 80s. I went to China. You just watch those kids. How they went. All the high school are factories. They do coating, nickel plating. They build radio. They were very poor. American sanctions. There's no food.
Well, you
They're
taught
very poor.
yourself, right? That's
I'm
what,
sorry?
you taught yourself video and electronics.
Yeah, I taught myself, but I was working in Taiwan, so I'm more connected to America, so I have privilege. You know, North Korea today, you sanction, you don't give them anything, but one day when they wake up, they're another powerful country.
So
Cuban,
when you say all the schools are factories,
yeah, all the school are factories.
what I'm getting out of that is the children are getting hands-on experience.
Exactly. That's why all of a sudden China has become a manufacturing.
Okay.
It's not overnight.
And they're probably majoring in engineering and practical skills, where here we may be majoring in art history or, I mean, things that are not a Bachelor of Arts. I couldn't earn a living with a
Right, I
Bachelor of
went
Arts.
there, I was first of all, you know, I was in the TV, so right away I went to Shanghai TV station. Said, the Shanghai TV station at that time. I show you a camera we made, Naroka, Philips. It's exactly the same duplicate of Philips, including tripod, lenses, everything homemade. Chairman Mao say, you gotta make them. Chairman Mao just say, you gotta do it. You know, so they literally built this. What took them the most time the integrate IC chips. They had to do 1,000 IC chips to find a good one.
Oh, God.
but they made the camera.
Oh.
Now, with that,
Well, labor's cheap. I mean,
yeah, they were cheap, yeah. That's why, why they all of a sudden become factored. They all, you know, even in the village, they're building crystal. They might not build crystal, they build a case for Japanese company. But they are already in high tech.
Right.
You know, I see those kids.
Well,
using
supposedly they're gonna-
Sardine can. They cut a sardine can and make a chassis and make a UHF tuner. At that time in China, in Shanghai, there were only 2 stations. So now they have UHF station. So all of a sudden, the high school become in demand because they made a tuner. UHF tuner.
Tuna,
UHF converter.
tuna.
To watch fuel ball stations.
Okay.
If they had incentives, financial incentives more, they would really go.
Well, now with the financial incentive, they all, you know,
Do you think it's gonna continue to expand? Because
of course,
that
of course.
10% growth is unbelievable.
Ultimately, well, where would that put China in relative to the USA? Either the USA stays on top or allows China to be on top.
What? China is not like Taiwan or some small country will listen to what you tell him to do. Like America right now, China, we owe so much money to Chinese. So now America say, please, inflate your money a little bit. So we pay you half. It's like that. Inflating money is like paying you less. You know, I remember in Taiwan, beef noodle soup in Taiwan is very favorite. It used to be $6. Now I go there $60.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Because,
In what period of time?
well, because when America start to owe a lot of money to Taiwan,
Uh-huh.
they said you have to make your money worth more.
Oh, really?
So I pay you less.
$6 to $60, what
Correct.
is the time frame of that?
Yeah.
What time frame?
Well,
Is
I
that
don't know
over
the
20,
time frame.
30, 40 years?
Well, I would say during the time when Taiwan becomes stronger. Remember Taiwan all of a sudden become rich?
Right.
when was that?
1980. 20 years ago, right?
Or more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when we complained about Japanese cars, they were making other things.
It's no different than the subway. It used to be a dime, not what it costs.
Right. I remember loaves of bread costing 11 cents.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I remember, you know, like,
You didn't catch me saying that.
Ice cream cones, 5 cents for a single
Exactly.
dip, 10 cents for a double dip.
Yeah.
That's 1940s.
right, well, yeah,
Now it's $2.
money doesn't, they say money disappear, evaporate.
That's
I
right.
say, no, it's not true. Money does not evaporate. Some crooks are putting it in the pocket. It's not evaporating. I say Goldman Sachs and all those companies, J.P. Morgan, they all should move to Las Vegas. And we should call Goldman Sachs Casino.
Right.
We should not call
That's the stock
J.P. Morgan. Right. Why don't we just make it real? Let everybody knows and don't fool people.
But, you know,
The money disappear.
But if we-
I don't know. In physics, things don't disappear.
Right. But you turn a lot of money, your money's worth less, so you're paying off the national debt with dollars that are only worth 10 cents. The way to get rid of the national debt.
The government it's a policy scare anyway. We all know that. They're part of it. Government's a policy scare.
Now, there's one thing my brother-in-law, who was on a recent business trip to Shanghai, many business trips, there was a common refrain among all Chinese that the United States will never let China get ahead, and it will bring us down one way or the other. How do you think that's possible?
Repeat that again.
My brother-in-law goes to Shanghai and all those places on business trips. The common refrain he hears from ordinary, everyday Chinese is the United States will never allow China to supersede it. That it will do something one way or the other, that China always remains either second to it or none at all.
But they could do it to Taiwan or Japan. They cannot do it to China. China is too big. In China, communists are very organized. communists, you can't underestimate communists. Communists still think fighting. They have meetings all the time. They have meetings all the time. They're serious. They seriously want to conquer you. They're not joking. They're serious. They seriously want to conquer you.
Well, just like another corporation
Yeah,
wants
it
to,
is. They're very,
beat out
they're very
everybody else.
organized. That's why they're very afraid of religion.
Who's that, Kodak?
Like my local people, village people, start to to Buddha temple, open up Buddha temple. A week later, they just smash it.
Really?
They don't want you to unite it. They do not want you to. United is a power. That's how they gain their power. They're afraid you will destroy them.
They're the only organization
They're
in
the
town.
only one, yes,
The only game.
yes. Only game in town. Yes.
I want to ask you, I have about 3,500 tapes,
Okay.
starting in the year 1954. About 2,000 of them are audio, and
Real
the
to
rest
real.
are, yeah, all kinds of, there were bigger ears and there were smaller ears, no, first they were smaller, there were bigger ears and then like 8-inch and 10-inch.
Right.
And the rest about, I don't know, something like 1,500 or 2,000 DVDs, VHS, and all kinds. How can I, in bulk, prevent their destruction? Because eventually they will, in time, be destroyed.
Well, I think the temperature is important. Put it in the cold salad.
They what?
Less moist.
Moisture is
free.
the-
How about,
Moisture
transfer,
is the-
how about transferring to DVDs?
And transfer them right away. Because later on, it's not just the tape, it's the playback. You're not going to run into no more playback machine.
You have to keep up with digital, you have to put it on DVD now, and whatever next, and change it to that
Or
next.
put it in a hard drive, or put it in
How
a,
long
Could I
would
ask
take
you-
to
could I
put
ask
it
you a
on
question?
DVDs and how much it will cost?
it's on my list. It's
Yeah.
No. For an instance, they had, back in the old days, when they started doing cinema, they did it on the reel,
film.
and they kept it in the camera.
Okay.
So much of that was lost because of decay and rippling,
The silver comes off.
That's nitrate film. You're
Your
talking about
motion.
nitrate film.
nitrate.
Good, the emotion comes off.
So much of the history of cinema has been destroyed because of that fragile type of
Technology.
And with the film academies at UCLA or USC or NYU, we're trying to retrieve the archives
Archiving.
of that. Do you have any instruments and such that help with that?
Well, I just use old machine and copy to, immediately copy to another format. Like NYU archiving, they copy everything to the digital videotape.
Just like that?
Yeah.
They keep the original
Can you
though,
clean-
right?
Can you clean the film
You can clean the film, yeah.
and clarify it so that it, so that.
I'm not very much into film. Duart people might be a better people to talk.
Duart.
Duart.
D-U-A-R-T,
Where are they?
50th Street.
Midtown Manhattan.
They into film. Yeah, I got involved with basically videotape.
Is film and video two separate departments at NYU? Because I know some filmmakers that teach film there. And I know they work with video too. Are they combined? Is it film and video, or video?
I don't know the difference. I know the film people, they always come to me, the video also, they have archiving department, they have continuing education, they have,
Because the two
But
are merged.
NYU doesn't have a video archiving department. I don't,
they do, in the
They do?
library, underneath the library.
Really?
The big library, giant library, the 3-4, it's video archiving.
the Bobst Library?
Yeah, the library, yeah.
Tell me, do you have access to foreign tapes that people come to you for?
No,
for
I'm
equipment,
no, I'm mainly involved with the equipment.
equipment,
Yeah, the equipment.
not the presentation of.
No, well, equipment like say, foreign, you might call a John Lennon tape, Beatles tape.
Now, for instance, if you had,
A foreign standard?
newsreel tape,
No, I don't collect it, no. I only collect hardware, equipment, hardware, and all the tapes I have is my own
but
personal
if they
tape.
had old newsreel tapes from Russia in the Revolution, or even.
Well, in America, it's passé news, they have a lot of footage,
Pathé.
passé,
Oh.
Pathé.
it's like a chicken.
P-A-T-H-E,
But
pathé.
they charge for, don't they have, don't they charge a lot of money for the use of that stuff?
If you got a rebroadcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Have you been to the radio, and I don't know if this would be relevant, but the Radio and TV
museum.
Museum?
No, I didn't.
There's a
Well, my
museum
friend-
of radio and television. I've just heard about it recently. I want to go there. It might be a
Yeah.
place you might, I think you should talk to the museum of, it's called Chinese and American Museum. Because your story is a fantastic story of someone who came here and got on the cutting edge of a new technology, and you're a pioneer. And actually, if they put an installation telling your story there, it might open doors to other interests from the Smithsonian. I mean, you know, museum world is just like electronics world. I'm sure you know every electronic worker in New York. So if you get in with one museum and they start focusing on you, all the other museums will hear about it, and I might end up with you finally ending in the Smithsonian. And I agree with Harold. I think that's where you should be.
Good point.
But at this point, they all think it's junk. See, there's a point with fun with technology. If it's 10 or 20 years old, they think it's junk. Because I went through this. Then 30 or 40 years later, they come and say, "Oh, you have that? We've been looking for it. It's all
What?
had historical, valuable, you know, irreplaceable
I gotta tell
documents."
you, recently I went to Mama,
That's exactly
Museum Modern Ma.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, there are a couple old TVs, they want to look at it. Oh, you can't take that to the
Was
shop.
it round?
You have to be environmentally, air temperature has to be correct. You gotta wear gloves. They take a photo of everything now, everywhere.
Did you fix it?
You have insurance.
Did you manage to fix it without taking it out of the
Well,
museum?
this one says, we're negotiating right now, wants to come to my shop.
Do you have a round set, a round TV?
I have a round one, yeah.
Does that go back to what? Around
Well, most of the-
1947, right? That's the first TV.
Well,
There's a lot of
the thing I'm
different-
talking about is collection of Nanjing pipes and stuff. So Nanjing pipe has some handwriting, magic marker, right?
Oh, right.
Oh, you can't touch that.
Personalized, personalized
Yeah, that's right.
installation.
Do you have those little scopes of light that you have to twist into them?
How many do you want to twist? I got a lot of twists.
So who else does video archiving who we could possibly get assistance from to transfer our old material?
Well, NYU is one, they're doing it themselves. Museum Modern Art.
Depends on what the film is on. What is most of your footage about?
How about the Museum of the Moving Image?
I can't reveal that in public.
Ooh. Can you write it down?
If it's art, then I mean, that's problem.
Some of it's very serious stuff.
And some are political.
How
Find a
about
place
the
that deals in
how
political
about the
archive.
copyright?
You have to find someone that shares that interest.
How about the copywriting possibilities? Of being able
You gotta copyright something though, you can't copyright.
Does copyright on a
dead
video
tape. You need
expire
to
after a
revive the
certain
tape.
number of years?
You need to rejuvenate the tape.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but how?
We don't need that.
I know as long as, if this all belongs to the artist, I'll try not to copy it. Something else doesn't matter.
You missed the whole.
Like John Lennon's tape,
You missed a great
Right.
step.
they made me sign a lot of paperwork.
You know
You
Bruce.
can't even view, let somebody view it.
You know Bruce, cousin Brucey,
Yeah.
oldies with oldies. In 1960 or early 60s, I recorded on a little reel-to-reel thing when the Beatles came to New York, and it was a brilliantly orchestrated thing. I don't think it might have been Murray that came, but someone introduced them, and each Beatle had a separate Cadillac. They went to the Plaza Museum, and you know that cousin Brucey was so thrilled to find that because I was the only person he had ever found that actually had a recording. This is, it was broadcast
You could
on
have
all
sold
the
that for
radio.
$10,000.
I just gave it to him, you know.
Why?
All I got was an autographed picture, thank you.
Are you serious?
I mean, I'm not, I had it, he was
Obviously
a
you're
customer
not.
of mine, he was a customer of mine, and,
That's worth $10,000.
I wouldn't say that.
But I would.
Well, if you can sell it for that, I'll give you 9.
No, but you just gave it to them. You
How's
just
that
gave
for
it away.
incentive, huh?
You just gave it away. You
I
probably
gave it to
gave.
one person.
Yeah, but you just gave
Now, the movie
away.
is oldie but goldie.
You just gave
What
away.
what he's saying is that you had the original. Now that you're giving it away, you don't know how many
You
copies.
realize I have the original off of radio, so I don't know when copyright on audio expires. This
That's
is-
not the point. Nobody else has the copy.
Hello? But now they do because you gave it away.
Well,
I have a
if-
friend who had an interview with Brian Jones by Terry Knight. Terry Knight just died, a horrible death. He was the guy who created Grand Funk Railroad. Terry Knight interviewed Brian Jones of the Rolling Stones in 1964. It was the first North American interview or Midwest interview of Brian Jones ever made. My friend gave it to Rolling Stone.
Like it wasn't written up.
But what would they, Rolling Stone had
What an
paid
idiot.
for it?
You know,
But what would Rolling Stone have paid for it? Rolling Stone doesn't have a huge budget, I don't think.
You don't
Now,
think.
maybe if it was Hollywood.
You
have
don't
to
know
remember
what you're
who they're
dealing
dealing
with here. These things are rare. They're rare. They're historic. If they can find another copy, it could cost them $10,000 just to find it.
But there isn't another
Not
copy.
to
Well, then you gave away something that was very valuable.
So, thank you, CT Louis.
All right.